Almost every economic crisis begins with the same thing: politicians taking control of the money printer. It might sound dramatic, but time and again, when governments seize control of central banks, the result is the same: inflation, instability, and collapse. In Argentina, the government has repeatedly leaned on the central bank to print money and fund budget deficits. The result? Inflation hit over 200% in 2024. The currency collapsed. Savings were wiped out. In Turkey, President Erdogan insisted that high interest rates cause inflation and fired central bank governors who disagreed. The lira lost 80% of its value in just a few years. Prices soared, and ordinary Turks saw the value of their salaries, pensions, and life savings evaporating. These aren't isolated incidents. From Zimbabwe to Venezuela, Hungary to Yugoslavia, Chile to Brazil, the pattern is the same. Populist or authoritarian leaders override their central banks, print too much money to finance spending, and unleash inflationary chaos. Even the United States isn't immune. In the 1970s, under heavy political pressure from President Nixon, the Fed kept rates too low for too long. Inflation soared above 14%, and it took a brutal recession in the early 80s to regain control. Why do politicians keep making this mistake? Because it's a shortcut. Slashing interest rates boosts the economy in the short run. It props up asset prices, makes debt cheaper, and allows governments to avoid tough fiscal choices. But the bill always comes due eventually. Inflation rises, credibility crumbles, and once trust in money is broken, there's no easy way back. That's why central bank independence exists. It's a barrier that prevents political short-termism. And yet, that barrier is under threat once again. In the United States today, Donald Trump is openly pressuring the Federal Reserve to cut rates. Not because inflation is too high, it's actually under control. Not because unemployment is surging, it's near historic lows. The economy is running close to full capacity. But because lower rates would, in the short run, make it easier to fund tax cuts, boost growth, and reduce the government's ballooning interest bill. He's called Fed Chair Jay Powell a numbskull, said he should be fired, and now his allies are working on finding a replacement who will do Trump's bidding. Supporters say the Fed is being stubborn, slow, even incompetent. But let's be clear, this criticism is happening against the backdrop of an economy that is, by most measures, working remarkably well. Inflation is falling, unemployment is low, and real wages are rising. If anything, this is what monetary stability looks like. It's also worth noting that when politicians mismanage the money supply, we get hyperinflation, currency collapse, and systemic ruin. But when central banks make mistakes, like sometimes they do, the consequences are painful, but rarely catastrophic. Take the Fed in 1981. Paul Volcker crushed inflation by raising rates to nearly 20%, triggering a brutal but necessary recession. Or the ECB in 2011, when it hiked rates too soon and helped tip the Eurozone into a double-dip recession. Or the Fed again in 1937, tightening prematurely and pushing the US back into depression. Yes, these were painful episodes, but they were decisions made in pursuit of long-term price stability, not short-term political advantage. And more importantly, they were reversible. They didn't destroy currencies, they didn't wipe out savings, and they didn't break public trust in the monetary system. However, the danger now is not that the Fed might act too cautiously, it's that it might be bent to serve political interests. And history shows, once that line is crossed, it's almost impossible to go back. So when you hear calls to fire Jay Powell or stack the board with political loyalists, understand what's really at stake. It's not just about interest rates, it's about the integrity of the entire economic system. A link for the next video should be showing now, just click to keep watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then please like, subscribe and follow. Thanks for watching.